Hey, you could have watched this video a day early. Check out my Patreon for more details. Hello, welcome back to Monster Hunter. How you doing today, ladies and gentlemen? So, this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous Monster Hunter videos. First off, I'm showing my armor skills and my equipment that I'm going to be using for these couple of hunts that we're going to be watching. This video is recorded in two separate parts, where instead of doing a live voiceover, I am doing it in post. So, in this video, we're going to be doing two hunts of me fighting a Najarala, as you just saw, and then the urgent quest for HR2, which is the Gore Magala. And we'll be getting into HR3 this video, because that's the one thing that I've kind of neglected, you know, as I'm playing Monster Hunter 4, is I haven't really done any of the guild quests, any of the Gathering Hub quests, you know. I've only done the village quests, and since I'm in high rank in the village and I've got high rank armor and a high rank weapon, or a couple high rank weapons, you know, I might as well sit down and, you know, do some of those quests again. And here, I was trying to get the girl to hit the gong, and I forgot how to do it, and I just gave up because I don't care. So, yes, we're back playing Monster Hunter. But I'm gonna try doing it differently this time. In that we're recording the voiceover in post. One of the problems that I've had with the Monster Hunter videos, just in general, is that the commentary has always sort of been lacking. And I feel like most of that is just because I have to focus on playing the game and talking at the same time, which is fine for like a stream or whatever when I'm just farting around doing whatever, but I'm trying to make these videos good. And, you know, I feel like the commentary could have been better. So to fix that problem, I thought, well, why don't I just do it in post and just do the voiceover later? Like, why not? So that's what we're doing today. It gives me a better opportunity to actually play the game properly and, you know what I'm doing while I'm hunting monsters. Which, by the way, this was the very first. I did not prep for this. I was playing Monster Hunter Rise all day for the past, well, not all day, but I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise for the past few days before I was recording this. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, there are some parts where I'm trying to, like wire, like when I got knocked back by the Najarala later in this quest, I got knocked back and I tried to do the wire bug moves, you know, just, it took a little bit, but as soon as I remembered, oh yeah, right, this isn't Rise, this is 4, I just got right back into it. But it took me a hot second. So, yes, we're fighting a Najarala today, or Najarala. I say Najarala, it sounds better. So this monster is fucking awesome, I think. A lot of people were really annoyed with Najarala when it was first introduced back in 4, and I'm no different. I thought Najarala was pretty annoying. But with the later games that came out, oh, here you can see me trying to farm for mounts, because that's how you play Monster Hunter 4, ladies and gentlemen. You just farm for mounts, and you'll just win like that. We've already been over the whole mounting thing. But Najarala, the more I've played through World and Rise, made me realize how interesting Najarala was as a monster, because we really don't have any other snake-like monsters in any of the games, really. I'm trying to think if there are any more. I know there's Tidal Najarala, but that's just a subspecies. With this skeleton, there really aren't a whole lot of monsters that have the skeleton, right? So going back to 4 and fighting this thing again is just, it's fucking awesome. I'm pretty sure I fought Najarala in this series before, and I'm pretty sure I talked about all this already. But you know what? It's been a long time since we've played Monster Hunter 4, so I might as well come back and you know, just talk about stuff we've already talked about before, just to cover the ground again. Whatever, I don't care. Back in that previous shot, there was a blue bug gathering spot off in the distance, and while I was playing, I remember vividly, or while I was playing, I thought to myself, oh shit, it's an extra wire bug, I should go get that. And it's like, wait a minute. No, this is 4. This is Monster Hunter 4. We don't have the wire bug. So, you know, those little Rise-isms, as I'll call them, you know, they don't go away. You know, I'm so used to playing Monster Hunter games with Rise at this point that, you know, just takes me a sec. But as soon as I got back into, I don't know, fuck, whatever. As soon as I got back into the groove, it's like, oh yeah, this was the old shit. Funny enough, actually, I did not play Hammer a whole lot in 4U. The weapon that I played the most was definitely Charge Blade, but I also really enjoyed Sword and Board. I thought Sword and Shield in this game was pretty fun. And I'm gonna be playing more Sword and Shield whenever I play the PC version, because yeah, I'm double dipping in Rise, and I'm going to play through the whole game again on PC. And then when Sunbreak comes out, that's, you know, I'll play Sunbreak on that. But it's gonna be pretty interesting because for Christmas this year, I gave my sister a copy of Monster Hunter Rise, and we've been playing that occasionally. And it's her first Monster Hunter game, so she's obviously not going to be an expert, and she's not going to know the little rules of Monster Hunter and everything. So, you know, can't expect the world out of her, but it's been fun. It's been fun to go through some of the low-rank quests again, and it's been fun to go back and play through Rise again. Or play more Rise, I should say. I'm still trying to get to HR 100, because I just beat All-Mother Narwa, you know, a little bit ago. And if you played Rise, it's like, wow, you took you that long to beat All-Mother Narwa. And that's just, I just really don't beat games. Like, I will play a game all the way up to the final boss, and then I will just not beat the final boss until months later. I don't know why. I'm doing that right now with No More Heroes 3. I'm about to fight, I want to say Jean-Baptiste, but that's not his fucking name. The final boss of No More Heroes 3. Like, I'm sitting right there. I could just go in and beat him right now, but I'm just not for whatever reason. I should do that. Speaking of games to beat, I did this last year and I never really went through with it, but I'm gonna try to do it this year. In 2022, I have a list of games that I want to beat throughout the year. Let me actually bring up that list while I'm looking at it. See, this is the benefit of doing this in post, is that I can talk about other things while the game is just going on in the background. Hell yeah. So, what do I have? What I'll beat before 2023. I'm like almost done with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, so again, another one of those games where I'm like right at the end of the game and I just didn't fucking beat it. So I gotta do that. I got Call of Juarez Gunslinger. That's kind of a maybe, you know? I played it at a friend's house a couple years ago and it was pretty fun. So I wanna just play that. Just get another game on the list. And then what else? We got Crosscode. So I'll talk about Crosscode later. Dark Souls 2, because I've never actually beaten Dark Souls 2 before. Dead Space 1, again, same thing. I never beat Dead Space 1, but it's really fucking good. Still holds up tremendously today. So very happy about that. Death Stranding, again, I'm like near the end of the game and I just never fucking beat it. I played that game for 46 goddamn hours and I just never fucking beat it. Grow Home, just because that game is so much fun. I played a little bit of that game, and it's just a fun little. It's on the same vein as Crumble, you know, where you're just having fun playing a video game. You know, it's kind of like a Breath of the Wild kind of thing before Breath of the Wild was a thing. You know, climbing and exploring around floating islands and stuff like that. And you guys know how much I fucking love floating islands. So Grow Home, very very good game. Highly recommend. Sekiro. I've played about 12 hours of Sekiro, and I do want to beat it. It's just that game has a really steep learning curve, and I feel like I've gotten past a lot of that learning curve. I just have to actually, you know, sit down and beat it again. Or not again, but I have to actually just fucking beat it. And then the last one is Yakuza Kiwami 2. So, I've already made a video in this series, actually, talking about Yakuza and my problems with it. But I got Kiwami 2 for like $10 during the autumn sale. So, you know what? I should try it, you know? I shouldn't... Here's the thing, right? Like, I can't be a good critic of games if I only play a certain... Like, how could I be a critic of, like, fine dining if it's like, oh, I don't like red onion? It's like, well, what if the meal is like made with red onion. What do? You have to judge the meal as it comes. You can't just take away the red onion. And while I do have my problems with Yakuza, I'm hoping that Kiwami 2 fixes it, because from what I hear, Yakuza Kiwami 1 is like one of the worst in the series. Or not the worst, that's not accurate, but Kiwami 2 improves a lot on Kiwami 1, so I'm hoping that I'll actually enjoy the game more as I play the second one. And I do know that 3 never got a Kiwami update, so it's going to be a pretty stark jump between 2 and 3, where it's like, oh, 2 is like a relatively modern recreation of the game, and then you go to 3, and it's like, oh, this is a fucking, I think it was a late PS2, early PS3 game. So, you know, going to be a bit rough in the transition, but I'm used to it at this. You look at the game that I'm playing right now. You know, I'm playing Monster Hunter 4. I'm no stranger to playing older games. You know, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm going to consider this Yakuza's last chance, honestly. I know that I actively avoid stories in games, and I'm really trying to not force it, but like really like, all right, I need to sit and pay attention to the story. Which is funny that now that I think about it, because Death Stranding's story is actually pretty fucking cool, and I enjoy Death Stranding's story. It's just that I don't know why. Maybe it's just because the premise is more interesting to me, where it's like high-end like future tech shit, and you're having to piece together a mystery of a story, and the mystery itself is more inherently interesting to me. And with Yakuza 1, it's like, you're playing as an old guy in Japan, and he got kicked out of the Yakuza. I don't know. I guess I just didn't enjoy the premise of Kiwami 1 a whole lot, and that's why I just wasn't very interested. You know, maybe I need to lower my expectations a bit. There's a lot of things that I need to do in order to properly enjoy that game, and I want to. You know, I have a whole list of games that I want to play that are very story focused, and I want to see if there are story driven games that I enjoy, and there have been in the past. Death Stranding being one of them. I remember really liking Thomas Was Alone years and years ago. Dark Souls, I fucking love the story of Dark Souls. And there's a bunch. Where's my story-driven games section? What do I have in there that's good? Owlboy. I enjoyed Owlboy. Owlboy was really fun. Return of the Obra Dinn. Well, that's just more of a puzzle game, so I'm just playing the puzzle. Like the whole point of the game is to piece together the story. So like, of course, Black Mesa, Half-Life 1. Half-Life 1 was fucking excellent. And I think that's just because the story takes place, you know, while you're actually playing the game. So, here comes another podcast of me just talking about story and games, yada, 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 whatever. What about Monster Hunter? We're talking about Monster Hunter. Hey, guess what? I got pinned by the Najarala, and I didn't bring dung bombs. But it's a good thing that Gizmo had dung bombs. So, you know, whatever. What's going on with Najarala? You know, broke his face, broke his head spikes, his head scales. And then I got fucked up by him. Yeah, it's just, you know, we're fighting Najarala. That was a good fucking knockback, though. Gotta admit that was fun. I do enjoy the fight with Najarala, you know? I think, at the time, I thought he was annoying, but as I play more games, it's like, oh, he's actually really interesting, and you gotta really, like, look at him. You have to play his fight in a very different way. So it's, I hope he comes back in Sunbreak, but I'm not holding my breath for it. What I really want is Zamtrios and Tetsukabra, all right? Because we already have Zamites in Rise, so why can't we have the Zamtrios? And by that logic, we have that baby Tetsukabra that Master Hojo rides. So if we already have Zamites, it's almost a guarantee that Zamtrios is going to come back. But if Zamtrios is there, that's the exact same skeleton as Tetsukabra, so might as well just put them both in. I fucking love Tetsukabra so much. He's so fucking cool. Mostly just because of his weapons and his armor. His armor is just really good. I'm wearing it right now. It is a very good, just plow through the game kind of armor set, where it's just high defense. I managed to get in some extra health and speed sharpening. Right? It's just like, you already know how to play the game and you've got a good weapon. Now just here's a bit of a buffer to help you, you know, not die immediately. And I'm taking some big hits during this hunt and the other hunts. And I'm not really taking a whole lot of damage. Now, that's more than likely because I've been playing low rank quests with high rank armor, but you know, whatever, it's fine. Something funny is that when Najarala was running away right there, he was running away, but I couldn't tell if it was a limp or not. And I'm not exact. Well, yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a limp or not, so I got confused. Like, oh shit, is he going up to sleep? So I followed him up, and sure enough, yeah, he's sleeping right now. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna waste a trap. I'm not gonna waste the trank bomb. Let's just fucking kill him. I don't need to trap a Najarala. Let's just fucking kill him, dude. Like, who cares? Bam. Now, I say that, I think, wow, let's just kill him. But Gizmo just decides, no, let's not just kill him. Let's trap him. And Gizmo just puts down a shock trap. So I'm thinking like, fuck, all right then, fine. You know what? I'm gonna take a chance, because I couldn't tell if he was limping or not. I can't tell if he's about to be, if he's ready to be captured. So it's like, okay, well, let's just fucking take a chance. Let's just have him go on the trap. I'll throw some trank bombs at him, and we'll just see what happens. And he just wouldn't go on the trap. It's the constant Monster Hunter struggle of just like, hey, bitch, get on the trap. I need to capture you. And then the monster just goes, no, I'm not gonna go on the trap. You know, you don't need to do that. This is the most annoying shit in the universe. But hey, that's just old Monster Hunter, am I right? Oh man, we have fun with Monster Hunter. We have fun with the old Monster Hunter games. Man, it's so fun to think back to like all the not shitty, but all the slightly more annoying situations that you get trapped in when you play games like these. And they've really toned down those annoying moments. And while I kind of miss it, I'm not in any sort of position where I think like, oh yeah, Monster Hunter needs to have these moments exactly right here. It's like nobody wants to be in these moments, and nobody wants to do this when it happens. Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry. I just heard some talking in the background, and it turns out that was actually just the video file talking back to me. Let me go ahead and mute that. So yeah, you just saw that. I threw the trank bombs at him. He was going to charge at me, but then Meowsy over there fucking stunned him. So just, it's annoying. But whatever. Threw the trank bombs at him, went in the trap, immediately captured. That's always fun to do. And yeah, we're just sitting. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to bring up the gestures menu. Yeah. Do the prance. Oh, I'm sad this gesture never came back in Rise. Hopefully it'll be in Sunbreak. Anyway, on to the next hunt. Okay, and here we are in the next quest. We are hunting a Gore Magala. And this is actually the urgent quest of HR2, meaning that whenever I beat this one, I go to HR3. So that's cool. But, man, Gore Magala, what a fucking monster, man. Like, I'm fighting this guy, and it just all comes flooding back. I did so much goddamn grinding for Gore Magala back in the day, because back when this game was like the newest Monster Hunter, this is like freshman year of college. No, I mean, I don't even remember when this. No. This game was still getting updated when I was in my freshman year of college. I knew a couple of guys who also played Monster Hunter, and they weren't as, I don't want to say they were dedicated, but they just didn't play as much as I did, and that's fine, right? At that point, I was already like in G rank, and he came into the game. One of my friends came into the game late. And so he's like, all right, well then let's fucking, why don't you help me out with this? And I'm like, okay, I'll put on my armor, I'll put on some weaker weapons just to make the quests not as much of a fucking cakewalk as they would be. Just to try to get like the real experience while still playing the game, Like, we're hunting low rank Gore Magala. Okay, I'll put on like a rare 2, rare 3 weapon, and we'll just go through, And I had like either late high rank or early G rank armor at this point, so it was like, I had no problems going through with it. But yeah, fighting this guy again, like it all just came flooding back, man. Just every single move he was doing and the positioning of everything, and it just, it was all just perfect, and I was just having such a good fucking time. That all falls apart, like, right now. And we'll see how much that falls apart later. But, ain't that big of a deal. There you go, he fucking hit me with that. That was annoying, but whatever. Because it has been quite a bit since I've fought him again. And I did fight him during the village quests in the single player. But again, that was a few months ago, and this is after I've been playing a bunch of Rise. So, you know, not exactly rusty, but also not exactly, you know, polished up and ready to go. I had a little bit of rust on there. But yeah, no, this guy came in late, and at this point, all of the good low-rank armor sets had already been figured out and published online. And so he looked up like, hey, you can get attack up large in like low rank, like right away. And I'm like, oh yeah, if you get the Siennatar Gore Magala set, you can, I think it was attack up large. Yeah, it was attack up large. Oh, pardon me. Oh, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, he was like, oh, yeah, I want to get attack up large. That sounds pretty fucking cool. And we're like, all right, well, let's grind up some Gore Magala. Here's the problem that we ran into, is that we would kill him too fast. And okay, we'll see this later in the fight. He'll go into his frenzy form, which I'm pretty sure I've already shown off in this series. Because I know for a fact I've already fought him in this series before. But when he goes into his rage mode and his feelers come out, you needed to break those to get a specific drop that he needed to make the chest piece, or maybe it was the waist. One of the parts of the armor, he needed those feelers to make the armor that he needed. And we would kill him like way too fast, because he would go into his rage form, and then we would just kick the shit out of him, and he'd be knocked out of his like rage frenzy mode, and his feelers would go away, and we couldn't break him. So we would just try to get these feelers, and we never ended up doing it. I don't think I ever finished that set with him. I don't know if he ever finished it, because briefly, like shortly after that, there was a big falling out with that group of friends and me. So yeah, not gonna go into it here, but whatever. I never saw him finish this armor set, which is a shame. But hey, you know, whatever. It's the desire sensor, you know? It's the feeling of Monster Hunter, at least back in the day, where it's like, oh man, that takes me back to another fucking story that is a very similar situation. I might have already told this story on the series before, but I'm gonna tell it anyway just because it's so fucking funny. And it's been a few months since I've played 4, so might as well tell some stories. So this was back when my girlfriend at the time, and I just introduced her to Monster Hunter. And this is her first game in the series, and she wasn't, like, enjoying it all that much. She didn't enjoy the grind of playing Monster Hunter. These were not the types of games she would play, but she stuck it out for a good enough amount of time just to play the game with me, which was very nice of her. But at some point, she got to high rank, and I think she got stuck on, like, Ukanlos or something. Or maybe she got stuck on Teostra, which, understandable if you get stuck on Teostra. That bitch is a wall and a half. But yeah, at some point I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can get you like a new set of armor. Like, are there any armor sets that look interesting to you? And she was maining Insect Glaive at this point. I don't forget why, but for whatever reason, we eventually came to the conclusion that, oh, a high-rank Brachydios armor would be pretty good. Which I don't know the skills on that. While I tell this story, let me actually look that up. So we decided, oh yeah, let's get you some high-rank Brachydios armor. And it was me, her, and another friend of ours. We were both friends with this guy. We were playing, we were grinding up some Brachydios, right? And we're playing, right? And we play, I think, a solid, like 6 to 7 hunts in a row. Right, like a lot, and this is high-rank Brachydios, right? So it takes us a bit each hunt. It takes us probably like 15-20 minutes each hunt. So we've been sitting there for a while. Maybe it wasn't 6 hunts, but it was a good amount of hunts, right? And we are actually, let me see what these skills are. Spirit, potential, bomb boost, spirit. Oh, Challenger. Okay. Challenger and Adrenaline. Okay, you know, and Evade Distance. Okay, that's not terrible for Insect Glaive, but whatever. I figured hunting Barkidios would be a good idea. And so we're hunting him for what feels like a couple hours, right? And and the one drop she needs to finish the armor set is the gem. And that's always how it is you need that fucking rare drop to finish up whatever armor set you're doing. And that's just Monster Hunter, right? Like, that's just how the fucking game is. And we hunt, like, she had the armor set pretty much finished, she just needed the gem. And we're doing a couple hunts after that. And eventually I just say, okay, right, we're gonna do this one hunt, and we're gonna finish the subquest. EJ and I will focus. His name was EJ. Hey, EJ, you're probably watching this video, maybe. So shout out to you, buddy. Yeah, it was really fun playing Monster Hunter 4 with you back then. What was I saying? Yes, she needed the gem, and we're doing this hunt. EJ and I are gonna focus on getting the subquest done, which I think was cut the tail or something. And we ended up doing that. And so we're like, okay, we're going to, I know for a fact the gem can drop from shinies or from the tail carve. So we're just gonna cut the tail. We're gonna like speed run this shit. We're gonna cut the tail. That was the subquest. Carve it. See if the gem drops. Pick up every shiny we possibly can. And if we don't get the gem from the tail carve, we're going to just end via subquest, and we're just gonna try it again. Right? We're plate farming. We're essentially doing plate farming back when you were hunting Rathalos to get his armor set. Oh my god, annoying as shit, but whatever. So we're trying our hardest to get this one fucking gem, and eventually she actually gets it. She picks it up from a shiny, right? So I'm like, oh fucking finally, we're done with this. And so I'm like, okay, everybody, fucking end via subquest, which that's a thing in this game, where once you actually beat the subquest, you can go into the menu and say, all right, I'm going to leave this quest and complete it, essentially. And there's a difference between completing the quest via the subquest and abandoning it. When you complete the subquest, or when you abandon the quest, all of your item pouch reverts to what it was before the quest began. So if you happen to, let's say you fight a wall of a monster like Teostra, and you use up all your potions, and this is Monster Hunter 4, so you can't just go back to camp and get more potions. Like, you're out of materials and you're on your last feint. Instead of taking that failure, you can instead just abandon, and, you know, you still take penalties where you have to pay for each quest in this game. But you're not going to be, like, substantially set back because... That was fucking bullshit, by the way. You're not going to be substantially set back because you're out of potions or you're out of armor skins and demon drugs and all that stuff. You know, it's useful. I would say that if you can't finish a quest, just abandon, get your items back, and try again later. You know, get a different strategy going. But if you complete the quest via the subquest, you keep all the stuff that you acquired during the quest and get a few rewards here and there, right? So it's really good for cutting the tail, carving whatever's out, and then bailing via subquest. EJ and I abandoned via subquest, and we get our stuff that we carved. I think even I got a gem at some point. But my girlfriend at the time, she didn't. She just abandoned. So the gem that she picked up from the shiny, which is incredibly rare, the gem that she picked up from the shiny despawned because her inventory reset to what it was before the quest began. So, and we don't know that immediately because she didn't say anything. So she goes to make the armor, and she still can't because she didn't have the gem anymore. And once EJ and I realized, we were so heartbroken that we stopped playing the game for the day. And I think that was the last time she ever played Monster Hunter. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm because shortly after there was that falling out, but whatever. I'm very certain that was the last day she ever played Monster Hunter 4. And you know what? At that moment, I really couldn't blame her. Like, I guess with hindsight, I really couldn't blame her for that. Because that is some bullshit, bro. Like, imagine grinding so hard. And you can't even, like, the worst part about that situation is you can't be mad at anything because it's your fault. You didn't hit the right menu option. right? And that's the worst feeling in the world. When you essentially ruin hours of grinding because you fucked up one input. Oh, man. Oh, I'm feeling bad just thinking back to it. Holy shit. But that is definitely one of the most notable stories from back when I played Monster Hunter 4, because it was the most not impactful, but it's the one that I'm always gonna remember, because I can't forget that amount of heartbreak that we had. It was fucking awful. But whatever, we continue on, and Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise improved on pretty much everything, so you don't really run into situations like that anymore. So it's, part of me is, I'm torn about it, where it's like, I'll have that story in my head forever, right? I don't think I'm ever gonna forget the feeling of that heartbreak when we were trying to grind for the gems. And that not anguish, but that frustration and those annoying parts of the game give you some good stories at the very least, right? And while the game is definitely more enjoyable without them, I feel like it's missing a certain thing, Maybe it's just my nostalgia talking. Maybe I'm just a Monster Hunter boomer. I still love Rise, and I have my problems with World, but I still hold my opinion that it is a very good game. It's just a different kind of Monster Hunter game. But Rise and World are still good, and if you're looking to play a Monster Hunter game, those are going to be your easiest to get into games, right? I think it is a little ridiculous to expect someone to go through 4 or 3 or any of the older generations of games and have them get the quote-unquote true Monster Hunter experience. It's like, no, we'll just have them play the most recent one, and then if they enjoy it, then they can go back and play the old ones if they really want to. And here's the same situation of Najarala, where I couldn't tell if he was about ready to be trapped, so I just let the trap ride. And sure enough, he wasn't. Now, here's something actually quite interesting. And there's a little tidbit that you have to know about Gore Magala. And if you fought Gore Magala and you've played this game and you know, this monster, you saw what I was about to do there. You saw what was in my inventory, and you were thinking, why the fuck are you doing that? You absolute moron. The flash bomb. So, if you don't play Monster Hunter, essentially what a flash bomb does is it does what it looks like. It has a bright flash of light, and it's really useful against monsters like Rathalos, where you blind them, and they essentially will fall out of the air, and it'll give you a good opportunity to get some free hits in, right? Flash bombs are incredibly useful for flying enemies, because the flying enemies need to have good eyes. The flying monsters need to have good eyes to see their prey, right? Imagine if you flashbanged an eagle while it was flying. That motherfucker would drop like a rock. And it's essentially the same train of logic, right? When you saw that I did it just there, if you didn't know a very specific thing about the Gore Magala, you would think, oh, well, because you need to throw the bomb in front of the monster's face so that the light will go in their eyes and it will stun them. So it's like, oh, I probably just fucked up the throwing, and it obviously didn't hit his face. So that's why he didn't fall to the ground there. Here's that tidbit. Gore Magalas, they're infants, right? They're juveniles of the elder dragon Shigaru Magala. Shigaru Magala, okay. While the Gore Magala is growing, you can see its golden undercoat right there underneath the purple scales on the face. The feelers, the horns that you saw come out during its rage phase earlier, those cover up its eyes. So Gore Magalas are blind, and they can essentially see and feel around their environment via the scales they drop, those purple clouds. That's how they see. So yeah, they're blind. Gore Magalas are unaffected by flash bombs because they're blind. And so I try to throw a couple more flash bombs during this hunt later, and I think, okay, I'm gonna try it now. I think it's right around this time where it's Gore Magala's just flying around, being a bitch, and I'm like, oh, okay, get out of the sky, throw a bomb, make it, yeah, there it is. where I keep trying to throw the flash bombs. And the flash bombs don't work on Gore Magala. Oh, man. As soon as I realized, I think I realized like right after I threw the second bomb, where it's like, why the fuck isn't it working? Like, why wouldn't it work? And then I thought, oh shit, Gore Magalas are blind. Oh, man. It's a bit frustrating, but, you know, whatever. That's actually, I think that plays more into why I enjoy this game so much, or the series so much, is because they put in those details, right? Gore Magala's horns, or its feelers, cover up the eyes while it's growing, and then when it eventually matures into a Shigaru, its eyes will open up and it can finally see things, right? So flash bombs will work on a Shigaru, but they won't work on a Gore because it's still maturing. And like, of course it wouldn't, because the fucking eyes get covered up. So whether or not they put that in for gameplay purposes or whatever, the fact that they did put that detail in is just really cool, you know? And you have like other little things like that. I'm trying to think of anything else, because there's a lot that I just don't know, right? Like, I still learn new little tidbits about every single monster. Here's a good one. Pink Rathian. All right. The subspecies of Rathian. So a normal Rathian is green, and the green of the Rathian allows it to blend in really, really well in its jungle/forest environments. A pink Rathian doesn't get that luxury. Pink Rathian can't camouflage, so it has to be aggressive. It has to be angry, because it literally does not fit into its environment. And that's why pink Rathians are harder than regular Rathians, because they just can't. They need to be able to compete, so they have to be more aggressive. I think that's just fun. I enjoy in Monster Hunter where you have those moments of like, well, why does a monster act this way? And there actually is a legitimate reason, a legit ecological reason as to why a monster behaves in a certain way or why it responds to certain things in a certain way. The level of detail in these games is just fucking immaculate, you know? And I'm not the kind of person who plays Monster Hunter for its plot or its little details like these, but every single time I learn a little tidbit like that, it makes me appreciate these games more, you know? Like, I love playing them to no end, but as you play them and as you learn, you do gain a deeper appreciation, so it's like, oh wow, they really put in a lot of thought when making this game. And it's cool. It's cool. I like that kind of stuff. I think there's some other ones. Red Kezu. So, if you've played Rise, you know what a Kezu is. And I bet you didn't know that Red Kezu is a thing, right? And so there's a reason why Red Kezu is just better, right? Red Kezu is not a subspecies of Kezu. Kezu is actually a subspecies of Red Kezu, because the Red Kezu are what they're actually supposed to be, while the normal ones are just albino variants. So that's a fun tidbit. Black Diablos is just a female Diablos in heat, which is insanely funny to know. Just their scales turn black and they get really aggressive, and that's why they act the way they act in the game. What else is there? Gogmazios in 4. Gogmazios eats gunpowder, and so when you spend like the whole game building up the battlements of Dundorma and trying to get its whole base ready for an Elder Dragon attack. And so in order to do that, you need to stock up on gunpowder to get your cannons and artillery going for when the really big shit comes in. So there's a huge stockpile of gunpowder, so of course Gogmazios would show up there, because he fucking eats gunpowder. So just little things. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. I fucking love this series, man. I'm going back and playing 4. And going back and just playing 4 is just nostalgic, you know? It always feels good to play this game again, you know? Now, you also get the flip side of this, where before I started recording this voiceover, I spent a solid 40 minutes on a single coal gathering quest, and I couldn't even beat it. I went full sunk cost fallacy, and I tried to just be like, all right, I needed one. I was like 35 minutes in on this quest, and I needed one piece of coal. And it was just the most annoying fucking shit where I couldn't get that one piece of coal. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it. And I turned the game off because it was so goddamn frustrating. That's the one thing I don't miss from this era of Monster Hunter, the gathering quests. While they are nice in terms of pacing, you know, lets you play the game without having to hunt a bunch of big monsters all the time, lets you do like some sort of side quests where you get to just walk around the world and everything. That's fun, right? But they can be pretty annoying at times. So I don't know. I kind of wish they were there, but also I'm glad they aren't, because Monster Hunter works best when you are hunting monsters. So, you know. And I'm not noticing a whole lot of the ecological tidbits, but I have been playing 4U for like a decade at this point, so, or almost a decade. So of course I know more about this game and its ecology than I know about Rise. So, you know, I think it all just chalks up to nostalgia and just a bias that comes from that, where it's like, oh, the game that I played when I was a child, or not child, but when I was younger, and the one that I essentially grew up with, and the one that forged my fondness for this series. Of course, I'm going to look on this game more with more praise than some later games in the series, even if Rise even if Rise objectively plays better. I still will love this game way more. Oh well, that's just nostalgia for you. I'm sure we all have games like that where, like, what's a game that I recognize as bad that I still love that's not Sonic Adventure 2? Because I will always say it's Sonic Adventure 2, but I mean, pretty much any relatively modern Sonic game from like the PS2, any Sonic game from like the PS2 GameCube era, like I fucking love those games, but I know that they're shit. What's a really good one? I don't know actually, because I'm thinking back to all the GameCube games that I love, and I can't think of one that was just bad, other than Sonic. Whatever. We're ignoring Sonic for now. Sonic is disqualified from this conversation. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. Huh. And look at this. Look at this shit. Where he's tired and he's drooling right in front of the trap. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, some of the best moments in this fucking game. Ah. Jeez. Monster Hunter 4 is such a good goddamn game. And if you want to learn how to play this game yourself on Citra or PC or whatever, you can go ahead. You know what? I'll have a link to that video show up in the end screen for this one. The tutorial on how to play Monster Hunter 4 on Citra with the HD texture pack and everything, because that was a fun video to put together, and I'm glad that you guys appreciated it. If you're hearing my words, thanks for stopping by and watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks to the patrons. If you want to be a patron and gain access to a bunch of bonuses, you can do that. There'll be more information to that on the link, both in the description and at the end of the video. And yes, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's fun to play this game. I want to do more videos like these. It was actually really fun to do this sort of style of Monster Hunter 4 videos, where I'm recording all this stuff at the very end, you know, or I'm recording all this stuff in post. I feel like my commentary is just better and my gameplay is just better. So hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me know what you guys think of this new format. Let me know what you think of Monster Hunter 4 content in general. You know, I do want to play other Monster Hunter games in, you know, this series. I want to play other games in this series, so, you know, we'll get to that later. Thanks again for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.